Hey guys, hope you guys are having a good night. Sorry about the darkness here. Family's asleep right now, so I'm putting this video together while everyone's there, way in bed already. So I really want to actually talk about an important topic that's been brought up in conversation with people who have been conversing maybe over Discord, over Instagram, and all that. And so the conversation has been that whether you are super successful or you're struggling, journaling continues to be a conversation that comes up. And so I want to touch on this topic for a few reasons. I want to talk about how do you it is that we journal? What does journaling mean to us? And are we even doing it the right way? And now I know it's very subjective, but I want to kind of go over some of that today with you guys, okay? So I'm going to use the example of a trade that I took with my funded futures competition account a couple of days ago or yesterday. I did post about it. That was a short trade with one contract for 270 points. Okay. And so as you can see on the screen here, this arrow is the mark of where I took that short on the Tuesday morning at 6:36 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I know, don't get too distracted. I know I am in a trade right now. I actually mentioned already that I'm taking a short trade overnight and whether I'll hit my target beforehand, I don't know, but so far it's doing well though. But I want to talk about this trade. So usually when I'm trading, whether it's on Discord or Instagram or whatever, I'll note down the trade that's happening. And I don't just say, oh, I entered here. I will make comments like, I entered here. This is what I'm looking for. Here's my risk. What are my thought process around this? What's going through my mind at that moment in time? How am I feeling? You know, those are all the different things that I'm kind of narrating. And so it's only natural that when we get into the journaling section of this, it should be done the same way. And so I'm going to flip over now and show my digital journal. So here I am. I think I've switched over properly, right? Did I? Yes, I did. Okay. I just want to make sure that it's shown properly. Okay. So those who have been following me know that I use TraderStat as my preferred digital trading journal. Um, Definitely my go-to, and for many reasons. And I'll show you some of that right now. So you guys have seen. So this is my competition account, and so for those who don't know, my fund of futures right now for the month of March has a competition going on right now where it's you start off with a 10,000 static account, simulated funding, of course, right? And by the end of March, obviously, depending on who achieves the highest profit number, will win the competition. Now, I don't think I'm going to end up trading this all the way through the end of the month, to be perfectly honest, because I'm actually be traveling to Asia for the back half of the month, so my trading will probably halt quite significantly, or slow down. I shouldn't say halt, but it'll slow down quite significantly. So, anyways, that's what this account is, and so you can see here already, just from the stats, what I'm looking at here. It's been 3 days with this account, and I've amassed $13,000. And understand that all this was done with one contract, because part of the rules of this competition is you can't trade with more than one contract at a time. And so you can see that already that it's been off to an amazing start, right? So based on just the initial stats, we're looking at it. I'm not going to say healthy. This is a good win rate, great profit factor. And you can kind of see that the trades have been held for a long time on average. And I mean, it's to be expected considering the fact that I am only trading with one contract. So to generate this kind of P&L, you can't just do that by scalping, right? Like it does take a lot of work. And maybe I shouldn't say you can't, but it's a lot harder to just to scalp your way through with one contract. As I go through this, and I talked a little bit about this on another video before, but I actually pay attention to my win rate breakdown quite a bit because it shows me that, if I am taking a losing trade, how long am I holding that losing trade for? And if I am winning, how long do I hold that winning trade for? And I think that it's important to understand that I don't beg hold losing trades, which is quite evident in the stats. But when I have a winning trade, though, I really do try to hold on for as long as I can. Now, it is easier said than done. I think that that in itself sometimes can be a toxic trait that people take when they watch people on videos do that. Like when I share that I hit 270 points, I don't want that to then make people think, oh man, tomorrow I'm going to try to hold for 270 points because Alan did it. That's not the point. I think you really need to understand like the amount of experience and the amount of back testing and trial and error that goes behind being able to hold for a move of that long. So you need to know where you're at in your trading journey and don't compare yourself to the people who are out there, because even for myself, I am honestly a small fish in the grand scheme of all this. There are people out there that are absolute veterans. My mentor rig trades, he's been doing this for so long, and it shows, man. I mean, he used to bag six-figure trades on options all the time, right? And so that doesn't happen overnight. Same thing with Andrew, Stock Market Wolf. That's actually where I started my trading journey. And he's a absolute veteran and an absolute beast. The guy does $1 million trades, right? Again, we can't compare to each other. Like that's like I'm talking about a guy who's been doing this for like 13, 15 years, right? So all in all, I want you guys to take away is that wherever you are in your journey right now, know where you're at and work on practicing that craft. And journaling is the one of the most critical component of this, because you need to realize and look at what's working and what's not. And if you're continuously repeating the same mistakes over and over and over again, then you're not really trading, you're absolutely gambling. Right. And so, anyway, sorry, I know it kind of went on there for a bit, but I get really passionate when I talk about this because both in business and in trading, I think it's so important to be able to back test and to reassess your strategies and your business plans and all that type of stuff, right? So, anyways, I'm going to jump straight into this. I want to highlight specific a journal note for that short trade that I mentioned earlier, which is this one over here. As you can see, this was the short trade that I highlighted earlier on the chart as well. Entry up here at 2042 and rode that thing down. You can see over there was a $5,000 trade. Again, done with one contract. So now I want to talk about the notes. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit just so that you can get a little bit more here. So here's what I took note for this. And again, everyone takes notes differently, but I took notes in this way because it helps me understand. So I shorted the New York session. Obviously, that's what I did. That's great. What am I looking for? Again, trend line, what were we looking at? Larger time frames, we were on a downtrend, right? Now you can go far more detailed than this. On the trend line, you could talk about every single time frame that you're seeing and what the trend line looks like to you, depending on how granular you need to go. And it all depends on your trading style, right? Market structure and chart patterns. Well, I've noticed, and people who know that I prefer trading my double tops, triple tops, double bottoms, triple top bottoms, right? And so because we're in a downtrend right now, the double tops and triple tops are what I'm looking for. And so especially when it comes in tandem with channels and levels, it's been fairly consistent. So market structure wise, I'm looking for that, right? And as I'm capturing this, I'm capturing it because it's what I'm looking for, but it's also what took place on this trade. Looking for lower high and failure to go higher entries. Their success rate has been fairly high with the downtrend that we've been going through, and we've had a relative weakness on the market, obviously for political reasons and all those other things. The last component is levels and channels. So when levels and channels come together, the conviction is higher. And I've people who've been following me and people that I talk to and work with, I tell them that for me, I'm not gonna say that's A plus, but that is absolutely building ingredients to an A plus setup for me. When I have a mastermind level and a channel coinciding with each other, with other things running in conjunction, whether it's with the market structure or indicators or whatever, when they all come together, that's an A plus for me, right? And I mentioned that key areas of interest have been solid plays consistently. So that's what I've been doing with a lot of my trades. So the thesis of this trade, the market showed relative weakness overall. The 2 minute time frame were double topping and triple topping. And I was looking at that also over the Asia and London session as well coming into this. So that provided extra conviction. At the time of the trade, we were hovering below the channel of 24,575. Now, I always note the specifics of the levels and the channels because after every trading day, I reset my levels and channels. And so if I don't note it down here, I won't be able to actually look back and see where that trade took place because obviously my charts will reset as I go along. Um, at the time, so you notice I talked about the channel here, right? There was no levels though, so there was this was on like an A plus. So even if I had the ability to do more than one contract, I wouldn't have because I don't have all the stars aligning. But we were below the channel here. The other thing was indicator as well. So from an indicator perspective, we were rejecting the VWAP and the 200 EMA on the 2 minute time frame. Okay. And so we had that going on. And so I said all the other things as well. Market structure, relative weakness, lower highs, double tops, you name it. All that was coming to place. Now, with the last point here, I said the moment that we lost the 2267 mastermind level, it was an indication for me that I would likely get a channel to channel move, a level to level move. And so anyone following me already knew on that morning, part of my plan was that 2267, I had mentioned that I would be looking for longs on this. And on this day, I tried taking longs on my live account, but as whoever watched my other video will know, it didn't work. It rejected because there was something wrong with my account. It's fixed now, but at the time it didn't. That alone, I missed like a 150 point move, which it is what it is. I can't really complain. And that was the long move that we got from here going up, right? And so that was the move that I missed out on. And sorry, I just realized I'm not screen sharing the proper thing. So the long move that I missed out on was this one right here. After that failure to go lower candle, I wanted to go longs because we were at the area that I was looking for to make our way up, right? So if you look at the 2267, it was somewhere around here. We bounced off of this and we made our move right up, right? Now I missed that. So instead, the other part of the trade plan was to take the short off the channel reject. So that's essentially what I did. So anyways, all in all, I'm noting all the things that took place here, what I usually look for and how it really aligned with this trade specifically. And depending on what it is too, what I'll sometimes like if I know that the day itself there was a lot going on, I will note other things down. So this day, mental tilt potential due to live account not functioning, causing me to miss out on a great trade on my live. And it's important to note this because it did affect me mentally and it affected me going into today. And I did make some mistakes trading my live account. I actually took a loss, unfortunately, which is not what I wanted. But it is what it is. It's part of the game, right? So I think that just learning how to use these trade notes, trade logs, looking back, and if I continue to look back at my notes, I would see, and I know now, and that's when people ask me the question of Alan, what's the method that you like to trade? What's your strategy? I mean, there's so many things. I won't go into all that today, but I can tell you right now, some of the things that you're seeing here already, that is part of what I look for. And that came because of all the back testing that I've done, that this is what works for me. It might not work for you, and that's okay. Everyone has a different trading style, right? But it's so important that you journal your trades, right? And because that's going to be a big factor and help for you for your journey. So I hopefully this added value. If there's more questions about journaling and how why that's important or anything like that of that nature or anything else for that matter, drop a comment below. Let me know what your thoughts are, your comments, and what you want to see maybe on the next video. If you thought this was valuable, please drop a like. It means a lot to me. It helps me out as well because I'm trying to build up this channel. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. It also means a lot to me. I'm just gonna stick a snapshot over here, and you can see that the trade's working out so far, by the way, which is good. But anyway, sorry, a little tangent, but looks like we're making some good moves here. Let me see. Oh, where are we at in the chart? Sorry. Oh yeah, that's another way. See? This note of the candle, by the way, I marked this with this news because at this point in time, that drop, although it was respecting an area as well. News had came out actually around high prices on certain items with tariffs and all that stuff. And again, another beautiful tariff driven price action move. But anyways, that's just an example of, again, taking notes again as well, right? So yeah, so far you can see this is one of my channels that I want to take, and it was again within my risk, 20-point risk, 50-point trade. So this is still 2.5R, and so far it's working out pretty well. I'm hoping that it does tag what I'm looking for here, and we'll see where it goes for the end of the night. But anyways, sorry. Anything else? Feel free, drop questions. Thanks for taking the time. I will see you guys again next time.